We've now collected our information and it's time to analyze it. And when we're analyzing it, it can be really valuable to have network documentation at hand. For example, maybe we have an OTDR, an optical time domain reflectometer. That's something that can detect a cable break in a fiber optic cable, and it can tell us where on that fiber optic cable that the break has occurred. Maybe we have a backhoe and it's damaged a fiber optic cable. As we're in the wiring closet and we're connecting our OTDR to these different fiber pairs, it's important to understand, where do these fiber pairs go? We could use documentation. Sometimes it's called an as-built document, a document that gets created after an installation that says, this fiber pair goes here, this copper pair goes here, this wiring closet switch lives here, those ports are connected to these devices. That's an as-built document, and that can be super valuable as we're analyzing the information we've collected. And sometimes as we analyze this information, we might see CPU utilization on a router or switch. We might see bandwidth utilization on a particular link, and sometimes it's challenging to look at this information and determine, is this number, CPU utilization as an example, is this number a good number or a bad number? Well, sometimes it's hard to know if we don't know what that number looks like during the good times. It's important to, when everything is working correctly, collect baseline information. And then we can compare the data we've collected now against that baseline and see, is there a big delta? Is there a big difference between the two? And if there is, that might be an indication that we have a problem. When I talk about baselines, it reminds me a few years back, one of my daughters had a sore throat, and my wife asked me to check her throat with a flashlight. And I said, okay, and come here and say, and I look in her throat with a flashlight. And to be honest, I didn't know what a healthy throat looked like. So it was really difficult for me to look in her throat and determine if she had a sore throat or not, because I didn't have any baseline information to go by. We need baseline information in our network to better interpret the data we collect. And sometimes we're going to collect data and we're not going to understand what it means. We might have some debug output and it's talking about this message that was received and we don't know what that message is. That's okay. Nobody knows everything. We can simply go out to Cisco's website and do some research on anything that's not clear to us. In fact, if you ever go take a CCIE lab, you're provided with documentation as part of your lab environment because you may be expected to do research. You may be given a challenge that is a very obscure challenge. Maybe you've not come across it in your practice and you need to research it. Research skills are critical. And like anything, we get better at troubleshooting the more we do it. We have experience to build on. We have more references from things we've seen in the past. So having experience, that's another way to help analyze information. I remember when I used to work at the university that I was telling you about, I would occasionally get a problem report that went something like this. The network is slow. It's taking a long time to print. It's taking a long time to transfer a document to the server. One of the first things I thought of when I heard that the network was slow was a duplex mismatch. I wonder if the PC that's experiencing the slowness, I wonder if that PC is set to either full duplex or half duplex on the network interface card, and I wonder if that is mismatched with the switch port to which it's connected. And the reason I would think that is I had seen it so many times before. Through experience, I immediately had a suspect, and that would be one of the first things I would check. Do we have a duplex mismatch? And oftentimes we did, and it was a quick, easy fix based on experience.